Did Maddie talk to you about if she was feeling ill or sick or anything like that?
No, but I did notice that she was
Plunder,
wearing baggy
true
clothes, and
crime
usually,
audio.
I don't know if this is weird or anything.
Okay, hello there. I wanted to talk to you about these two interviews I didn't expect to get today. They are two interviews from March 12th, 2024 with two of Madeline Soto's little friends at Hunters Creek Middle School. We know there's a whole bunch of movement going on in the case of Stephen Stearns, and we know some minors are having their depositions taken, these video depositions. Well, I was on the hunt for an interview with one of Stephen Stearns' friends, a friend who's as close as a brother, Chase Leonard. So I was FOIAing and sending in public records requests for Chase Leonard's interview from all these Florida entities. Well, they were getting back to me saying they don't have them, at least two so far. But one of them ended up giving me all the other stuff. They're saying, okay, here you have everything already. And I'm going through the list and I see these two interviews with Maddie's friends. And I'm thinking, I don't think I've heard this before. It's been nearly 1 year since Madeline Soto went missing, February 26, 2024. And unfortunately, she was found March 1st. Since then, her mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, has been arrested. He's still sitting in jail and he's trying to escape the worst penalty that Florida wants to give him. Whole bunch of documents going in. But what these children have to say about Maddie, I've never heard it before. Forgive me if you have. I searched and searched and searched and don't think these videos have been published yet, or the audio rather. One of Maddie's friends, the first one, she's going to talk about Maddie wearing, baggier clothes, more baggy clothes than usual in the week or so prior to her disappearance. And the other girl is going to talk about Maddie's crush. Now, she wasn't as close of friends with Maddie, but she does talk about Maddie having a crush on this little boy. I'm not going to name these minors. I'm putting up the no commentary version of both of these interviews. In total, it's only about 15 and a half minutes long because the first one is like 9 minutes. So the next one is only like 6 minutes. So if you want to just listen over there, I will put the link below. Now, this is not Maddie's friend SE. Those initials, you might know who I mean, but I believe I've already heard her interview. Now, on my birthday, actually, April 22nd, 2025, SE and EG and LL all have their video depositions. Well, these are none of these children you're going to hear coming up. You're going to hear from a girl, I will call her IS, and then the next girl you'll hear, I will call her SS. So I was searching for Chase Leonard's interview. I'm going to put my thoughts about Chase Leonard's interviews in a different video because that's what I plan to film today. He's interviewed with a couple of YouTubers. Stephen Stearns' mom has mentioned Chase. There's a lot. So I was going down that rabbit hole because I'm like, what are we missing? There's a lot of interviews we're missing. And I couldn't find Chase's yet. I don't know if authorities ever even interviewed him, which would be kind of strange to me, maybe not. But in lieu of Chase, we got these two girls' interviews, and it kind of shocked me. Let's talk about them in depth. Let's talk about why Maddie's friend may have said she was wearing these longer clothes, longer hoodies, what it could have meant the week before her disappearance. And let's talk about the other friend's interview and what Maddie was talking about with her that Friday before she disappeared. Okay, so this first one, it's March 12th. You can tell they're at the school. One is just right back to back against the other. So I'm calling her IS.
All right, real quick. So the date is March 12th, 2024. The time is 12:27 p.m. Myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood. We are at Hunters Creek Middle School on reference case number 24001896. So, real quick, what is your first name?
Plunder, true crime audio.
Like the country?
Mm-hmm.
And what's your last name? When's your birthday?
10.
Your address?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Do
you have a phone number?
No.
You don't have a phone. Okay.
I don't have a phone, but I have a Snapchat. That's it.
Okay. Do you live with both mom and dad?
Mm-hmm.
What's your mom's name?
Janelle Wright. I live with my stepdad and my mom.
All right. What's your mom's last name?
Right.
WRIGHT?
Yeah.
Do you know her phone number?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What grade are you in?
7th.
7th. Okay. So in 7th grade, I'm pretty sure you know the difference between truth and a lie. Okay, so I don't have to question on that stuff. So during our conversation today, do you swear to tell me the truth and nothing but the truth? Okay, perfect.
I'm a really bad liar anyway, so.
Well, that's good. You never want to become a good one. So, okay.
She does tell the officer she doesn't have a phone number, but the little girl has Snapchat somehow. The main thing that strikes me is this girl, she's so affable and lovable, and then you can hear the next girl is more shy, but it really just lets you know how young these girls are. And it struck me of, oh my goodness, what was Madeline putting up with? All these adult issues foisted upon her in a horrible way, and she was just a young girl. This 7th grader starts out by saying she's a really bad liar because the cop is saying, you know, he has to ask them, their children, do you know right from wrong? Do you know the meaning of it all? And she's like, yes, and I'm a really bad liar anyway. And the cop is saying, well, you don't ever want to be a good liar.
So we are here to talk about Miss Maddie. Okay. And
You want the other one later?
yeah, she can wait a minute. So myself and Detective Smallwood here, we are the lead investigators on her case. Okay. So what we're trying to do is talk to as many people as possible to find out what Maddie was all about, what she liked, what she disliked, and stuff like that. Okay. From what we understand, we think. Do you know? Yeah.
So my best friends?
From what we understand, is that was Maddie's best friend. Is that true? Okay. Now, did you have any classes with Maddie?
No, but I would see her like when we were transitioning classes. I would see her. I see her at Recharge, hang out with her then.
Okay. What kind of friends do you think you were with her? Like good friends?
Really good friends. Really good friends. I loved her a lot.
Okay. Did you ever communicate with her over the phone or, like, because you said you don't have a phone, just Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
Would you communicate with her via Snapchat?
No, actually, I have a weird story with that.
Okay, what's your story?
But she's so cute. She says she was really good friends with Madeline. She loved her a lot. Now, this particular girl lives with her mom and stepdad. She knows the truth versus lies. At this point, we hear like a teacher or someone, counselor, open the door, it's creaking, and she's like, do you want the other one later? Obviously, the other girl is waiting in the wings. And so this girl who's there being interviewed, you know, you can hear her greet her friend like, hi, SS. It's cute. And the cop says, yeah, she can sit out there. So they both point to this other SE girl who is Maddie's best friend. But this girl, IS, was also really good friends with Maddie. She starts out with a weird story about Snapchat.
So basically, I added her. I found her account. I know for a fact it was her account. But I added her. I wasn't expecting to be added back. It was just like a thoughtful thing to do. And I woke up yesterday morning and she had added me back.
Audio.
Okay.
And I thought that was weird because I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's physically no way.
Right.
Unless someone has her account, but like, why would they add me? They don't know if I'm a stranger or not. That's weird.
That is true.
So I just wanted to say that.
Okay. So
She said, okay, I just have Snapchat, but she says I found Maddie's account and she had added her at some point. I don't know when she added Maddie, you know, as a friend. She said, I know for a fact that it was her account. So somehow she knew it really was Maddie's account. And she goes, I woke up yesterday morning and Maddie had added her back. And she goes, that's weird. You know, whoever this person is basically that added me back, I don't know, they don't know if I'm a stranger or not, but she added me back and she was like, there's no way, physically no way. Because mind you, this is March 12th. So on March 11th, who was on Maddie's Snapchat adding back people who had added Maddie? Well, the cops at that point had possession of Maddie's phone, so it could have just been an investigative technique. If people were adding Maddie, perhaps that's something they do. Maybe, you know, if she really did add the correct Snapchat account and someone added her back, who was doing that on Maddie's phone? I can only assume the authorities, but he didn't confirm or deny that.
Maddie had a birthday party
Yes.
a couple weekends. Did you go to that party?
No, it was a family party.
Okay. Do you know if any of her friends went to that party? Because I think some of her friends were invited.
They were?
I think so.
I don't know. It might have been like family friends maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think a lot of her friends were invited unless they were close to like in like her actual friend group area.
Mm-hmm. Who was her friend? Like, what's her close friend group?
I know there's. I forgot her last name, but.
Does she go to school here?
Mm-hmm.
What grade is she in?
7th, and I
Okay.
had first period with her. What did I think about that? Oh, Savannah.
Plunder, true crime
Okay.
audio.
Williams. I know Williams somewhere.
And those are her close friends?
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that I know of. The other ones I don't really talk to, so I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Would you consider these three like her best friends?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. How often would you talk to Maddie?
Almost every day.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about her.
It was like more funny because we were both very, very chaotic people as personality-wise. So when we would mix, it would just be pure chaos, and it was always really fun with her.
Mm-hmm.
It was like she would always make jokes, and it would be really funny to laugh at. I remember on her birthday, the dean announced her. She was like, "Happy birthday, Maddie!" And then everybody was like, "Oh my God, happy birthday!" And I'm gonna go hug her. I said like, "Happy birthday!" And the person she did when I hugged her, she's like, "Oh my God, who is this?" And I same exact way. She had like this funny way of talking.
Uh-huh.
I remember a lot of the time that I was the one that when middle school girls were the crushes, like they'll be like, "Go take my crush with me." I was always the one for that because I had a class with them, and apparently we're friends. I did not know that before she said that, but anyway, yeah, there was funny moments that she always had where she had a blanket, she put it over her backpack, and then she'd bounce around the backpack, and her backpack was low. And then this guy called her a turtle when it was supposed to be like making fun of like the plastic surgery like on the butt. But like, she was just a very funny person. Like, she never showed any signs of anything.
Okay.
So no one really expected it. She was very funny. She was very genuine. She was a person that if you were sad or depressed or I was really sad one day, and she was like, as soon as I saw her, she like changed the conversation from me being depressed to something like really happy about myself. And then
That's good.
if you were feeling insecure about yourself, she'd like be like, "Why are you insecure? Like, you're beautiful," and like compliment you over and over again. It was really nice.
Did she ever talk about having any boyfriends or anything like that?
She had a crush.
On her?
Plunder,
Boyfriends. Oh
true
no,
crime
she did
audio.
date a dude, but it wasn't last. Like, I don't even, like, he's weird. Everyone talks about him. He doesn't.
When was this?
It's like last year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who she's dated since then. Really, I'm not huge when I see my friends about their relationships. But I know she had a crush on the dude. So there's that. That's all I know about that situation.
Gotcha. You don't happen to know the phone numbers to any of these young ladies, do you?
No, I do not. I mean, I have them on my watch, but my mom puts them on there. But I don't really have their phone numbers at all.
Okay.
Now, the investigator does verify that this girl did not go to Maddie's birthday party, and she sounds so cute. She goes, "I don't think a lot of her friends were invited." And the investigator says some of her friends were there, and she's like, "Wait, what?" She sounds surprised, as if she wasn't invited. I don't know if she was or not. And they go over a few of Maddie's best friends' names. I will probably just mute those out for YouTube. And she does confirm, yeah, those are Maddie's 3 best friends. But this girl, IS, talked to Maddie almost every day, and she's just, again, so sweet. She says, "We were both very chaotic people in terms of like personalities, pure chaos." The dean had recently announced Maddie's birthday, so it must have been just that prior Thursday, and everybody was hugging Maddie, and Maddie was saying something cute like, "Oh my God, who is this?" She had like this funny way of talking. That's the way IS described Maddie. So she talks about Maddie's crush. In fact, both girls are going to mention Maddie's crush. And this girl is going to say, "I didn't know that." She's talking about crushes and funny moments. Both of the girls their voices are a little bit softer. So I boosted it all the way up as I could. Especially the second girl is really, really soft. And as usual, the recording device is away from her. But she kind of talked about Maddie wore her back backpack down low. She put a blanket over her backpack, and some guy called Maddie a turtle. But she overall was saying, Maddie never really showed any signs of whatever was happening, so no one expected it. That's what this girl says. She talks about what a kind heart Maddie was, how concerned she was for others. So this girl here said she was really sad one day, and Maddie made her feel happier. And, if someone was feeling down on themselves or depressed, and Maddie would just say, she would compliment you over and over again, like, oh, why are you feeling so bad? You're great. Now, this girl says, I believe she says she did date a dude. It's kind of hard to hear. At first I was like, is she saying she didn't date a dude? It sounds like she said she did date a dude, maybe the previous year. She talked about some weird guy in the previous year, and there's that. There was a crush on a dude. So she had a crush. She did date a dude, like he's weird. No one talks about him. So of course the investigators dig into that a little bit more, but I think she's just talking about one of their classmates. She said, I don't know who she's dated since then. I know she had a crush on a dude. So the investigators asking IS about phone numbers, and she says she does have some phone numbers when her mom puts them on her watch. She does talk about an instance, I don't know if it was pretty recent to this interview prior to Maddie's disappearance, but Maddie was crying in the bathroom of a teacher.
All right, so Maddie hasn't talked to you about something that may be going on in her life recently or anything like that?
There was this time where she was crying in the bathroom over a teacher, but now I think about it, I don't know if it was really about the teacher or the teacher just sat on top of it, like a cherry on top. But I remember I walked out of my classroom, like our classrooms were like this, so when I walked out I could see her classroom. And her classroom, she was like right there getting yelled at by the teacher, for literally no reason. And she was on the verge of tears, and she went to the bathroom, and I came out to like wash my hands, and she came in like literally bawling her eyes out. I was like, are you okay? She said, no, like school's like really stressing me out and stuff. And I told her like, hey, have you tried like staying home? And she said, my mom doesn't want me to stay home. She never lets me stay home. And I said, oh, like, at least like, do what normal children do, pretend to be sick or something. And she was like, oh, yeah, and then I didn't see her for like a week after that. So.
Gotcha.
She said there was this time she was crying and she was getting yelled at by the teacher, is what she sounds like she's saying. Maddie was bawling her eyes out. But when IS, I guess, inquired, tried to ask Maddie what was going on, Maddie would just say, school is stressing me out. Now, we know a lot more was stressing Maddie out, but that was probably a easy go-to just say, school's stressing me out, without spilling the beans about what she was really suffering. Maddie told this friend, my mom doesn't want me to stay home. She doesn't let me stay home. So her friend said, well, just do what normal children do. Pretend to be sick or something. That's when IS says, I didn't see her for like a week after that. So these girls talked every day, and IS is, trying to comfort her friend in the way a child can comfort another friend. Jennifer Soto allegedly didn't want Maddie staying home from school, and Maddie's all, stressed out, so much going on with this little girl, and her mom doesn't let her stay home. So her friend says, look, just pretend to be sick. So obviously Maddie must have taken her advice, and she didn't see her for a week after that. Now, some other friend, I remember a young friend, and I want to look back at all the interviews of Maddie's friends that I've done and link to them below. I want to try and keep things kind of straight because I know I have not heard these before. So with the girl talking about sickness and all that, the officer starts to probe. He asked, the week leading up to everything, did Maddie talk to you about feeling ill or sick? I think he's going somewhere with this. Now, the friend immediately says, she doesn't think, I guess, Maddie talked to her about being sick or something, but she said, I did notice that she was wearing more baggy clothes than usual. But this girl says, I didn't think anything of it. I have no idea why. Well, she loves hoodies. A lot of us love hoodies. But she said Maddie was wearing more longer hoodies. And she immediately goes into talk about Maddie's obvious change in type of clothing. I mean, many of us women, we know we've been through things. If there's a pregnancy, you're trying to hide. The first thing you might try and do especially as a young person, is start wearing, clothes that are just baggier, that women know. You can hide longer if you're gaining weight or you're pregnant, and then you can get away with baggier clothes.
Did leading up into, I don't know if it was last Monday or the Monday before, when all this happened.
Oh, that was the Monday before last Monday.
Right. Okay. So leading up to that, did Maddie talk to you about if she was feeling ill or sick or anything like that?
No, but I did notice that she was
Plunder,
wearing more baggy
true
clothes than
crime
usual. Usually,
audio.
I don't know if this is weird or anything. I didn't notice that. I'm a huge style person. But usually she'd wear hoodies that were baggy, but not really that baggy. And then I noticed she started wearing more baggy clothes and more longer hoodies.
Gotcha. Any idea why?
I didn't think any of it. I was like, well, she loves hoodies, so she's probably just wearing oversized hoodies. Yeah. I remember my friends did tell me, she did talk about her friend, her stepdad, but it was only, good things. It was never, oh, I don't want to go home or anything, or, anything like that. It was always compliments for her stepdad. And as someone with a stepdad, I never thought anything of it. So.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, Miss. I love that name, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. And I guess they can let you go back to class or whatever.
I was at London.
At
I finished
Plunder.
my food already, so I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We're going to conclude that at 12:36 p.m.
Now, this girl didn't directly bring up the pregnancy word, and the investigator didn't say it either, but I feel like I know where he was going when he's asking that. And it's very astute of this young friend to notice Maddie's been wearing baggier clothes. But she didn't know why. She goes right from talk of longer hoodies, baggier clothes, right into talking about Stephen Stearns. The little girl says she did talk about her stepdad, but it was always good things. It was always compliments for her stepdad. Never thought anything of it. So that was March 12th. This interview began around 12:27 p.m. And then, technically by 12:39, even earlier than 12:39, the interview is over. Now, they have a description of it slightly in one of these documents. It talks about March 12th, Detective Smallwood and I, it must be Mark Morris, I assume, responded to Hunters Creek Middle School to interview classmates of Madeline. This is when the next interview actually starts. So that's how it shows you how quickly, as soon as the one is over, just a few minutes later at 12:29 is when the next interview starts. So this girl, we're calling her SS.
So the time is 12:39 p.m. It is March 12th, 2024. The time is 12:39 p.m., which I just said. We are at Hunters Creek Middle School. It's myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood, and this is in reference to case number 24001896. So your first name again is?
Audio.
How you spell that? Okay, and what's your last name? And what's your birthday? Okay, do you have a phone number? And what is your address? Okay, what grade are you in? Eighth. All right, so you being in the 8th grade, I don't think I have to question you to see if you know what the difference is between a truth and a lie. Do you know the difference between a truth and a lie?
Yeah,
Okay, so if I would say this computer is orange, would that be true or a lie?
it's a lie.
Okay. If I said this little figurine right here is a lion, is that truth or a lie?
Truth.
Okay, perfect. All right. So during our conversation, do you swear to tell me the truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. So like I said, we are here to talk about Maddie. Okay. Did you have any classes with her?
No, but I had band, and when I walked to band, I had chorus, and she had chorus, and we passed by each other.
Okay. How would you describe your friendship with Maddie?
Not that close, but I was friends with a lot of people in her friend group.
Mm-hmm.
So when we heard about the news, it's I went to comfort her friends.
Plunder. True crime
Imagine your
audio.
best friend dying. That's crazy. But yeah.
Who would you consider Maddie's best friends here? Okay. do you happen to have phone numbers for?
Do you mind pulling
Yeah,
it
go ahead.
out? It's off, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, no, you're not supposed to have phones in school, right? Nowadays.
Yeah.
How's your day going so far?
Normal day. Just waiting for the spring break to come.
Next week, right?
Yeah.
Who's? Do you know? Hangs out with that same friend group?
I think I heard her name, but I don't have her number.
You know her last name or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
So Sage's
Okay.
and so
Got it. All right, but you said you're not very close with, or you weren't very close with Maddie.
no.
No.
But I knew about her.
Did you ever talk to her like on a daily basis, or did you only talk to her every once in a while?
Once in a while, I actually had a good conversation with her the last day she came to school on Friday.
What was that conversation about?
It was about a boy that she really liked.
Who was that?
I don't know his last name.
What did she say about that?
That we were at the student staff game,
Plunder,
and
true
the most of
crime
the time
audio.
she was just looking for him, where's she at, and she just really wanted to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else? Did you guys talk about anything else?
No. She was really happy, you wouldn't know that was happening behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
She it never showed.
Gotcha. All right. Who would you say, other than you said are her close friends?
Yeah.
Any idea? Somebody said maybe on vacation or something. Do you know? Are you friends with them?
I have her number, and I got more friends with her since Madeline's death. They come for her, then we actually have a lot of likes, and we just became friends.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Do you know? Is there anything you can tell me about Maddie that maybe somebody else doesn't know?
I got a lot of information from Paige, so that's probably why
What kind of information did you get from?
that. I'm sorry, I don't remember a lot, but
That's okay.
at her birthday party, her mom didn't come, and it was I believe her dad was there. I don't know, but she was really mad, and she wanted her mom there, and that's
Did you say who else was at her birthday party?
I don't know who was at the birthday party, but I knew she was there.
Was there?
Yes, she was
Okay.
there,
All right.
and that was the last day that she saw her as well.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything? All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. I guess they can let you go back to class. So the time is 12:45 p.m.
And she's talking about not having any classes with Maddie and would see her in passing at school. But she was friends with some of Madeline's friends group, and that's how they knew her. What's interesting about this very short interview is that SS talked about the last time she spoke with Maddie was that Friday, February 23rd. They were talking about a boy that Madeline liked. His name starts with an M. This SS girl is going to say she got a lot of information from Maddie's closer friend, SE, Maddie's best friend. So what they've done here, I see, they've kind of conflated the description of these two girls in the same paragraph in a document. They talk about IS stating she was typically a happy person. Even if these little nuggets of information that everybody is giving might not seem like much on the surface, but now it's a year later and we put it all together in one big puzzle and it paints a bigger picture of what was going on. So the SS interview, March 12th, 2024, a few minutes later, she's an 8th grader. She's very, very quiet and she talks about, she did not have any classes with Maddie, but she had band and Maddie had chorus, so they would walk past each other. So again, she wasn't that close with Maddie, but she was friends with people in her friend group, and when she heard the news about what happened to Maddie, she reached out and she's comforting Maddie's friends. She talks about Maddie's best friend. She talks about it being, spring break the following week. And it just gives you first of all, to hear these little girls' voices so young, it really reminds you of how young Maddie was. She had just turned 13. And to be so put upon in the worst way. Maddie should have been going off for spring break the following week. She should have still been alive with all her friends. She should have been happy. This girl is basically just giving the cops information about different friends' phone numbers, but she talks about the last conversation she had with Maddie, and it was about a boy Maddie really liked. She said, "We were at the student staff game, and there was this boy, Maddie was really looking for him." And this girl also says, Maddie was really happy. You wouldn't know all that was happening behind the scenes. She does say, since Madeline's death, she's been comforting her other friend. And so the investigator is trying to say, is there anything you can tell me about Maddie, that you know yourself, not just through other people? But this girl is saying, I got a lot of info from Maddie's best friend. She's sorry she doesn't remember. She just knows that Maddie was mad because her mother didn't come to her birthday party and she wanted her mom there. And she says, I believe her dad was there, but Maddie's best friend was indeed there at the birthday party, and that was the last day she saw Maddie. So this interview was short. It was over by 12:45 p.m. So it started around 12:39. That's the one. So it was only 6 minutes. So it really, really gives you insight, and the things that stuck with me today. I listened to these interviews several times and trying to just glean different tips. What stuck with me, what sticks with me, is her friend noticing Maddie's change in dress. Now, there's always a reason. It's not always just a phase, like I'm going from goth to a Barbie type girl. No, it was specifically her clothes got baggier. Her hoodies got baggier. Her hoodies got longer. Now that's just one more thing in my mind that leads me to believe Stefan potentially had impregnated Maddie. And maybe once we get more and more information, we will be able to confirm that somehow. Of course, no authorities have ever confirmed that, but you can tell with different interviews, we're learning more tidbits about it being a possibility. When they were asking Jennifer Soto about pregnancy tests, and when her other friend talked about her menstrual cycle being late, there's a line of questioning. This question keeps coming up, and it just makes me so sad. And it even makes me think with Maddie's crush on this boy and how she was really, really looking for him that Friday. Part of my mind wonders, could that have been a way to even try and take the blame off of Stefan? I'm thinking in this line of thinking, you know how Maddie had those mom and dad pregnancy coins or whatever kind of coins they were, and she was texting Stefan, we need these, new parent decision coins. Now, of course, that might not have been because of a real child, or maybe, Maddie wasn't with child, but it makes me think if she was in trouble and it's all Stefan's fault, was she seeking another boy to, let's say, blame it on? Did Stefan encourage her? Oh yeah, go have a crush so I can blame that boy for getting you in trouble. Of course it wouldn't last. This is where my mind is going. Obviously, at some point, if Maddie really was in that way, like they say, in the family way, ultimately it would have come out. It would have come out who the real biological father was. And if that was Stefan, of course, because of all those horrible years of misuse that he inflicted upon that baby, then of course he would have been in trouble. And so my mind only goes down these routes to try and figure out what happened that Saturday to freak him out so much and for Maddie to be upset so much. Why was she wearing baggier clothes? Certain things her friends noticed. What happened in February to her menstrual cycle? What was going on? And did all this big perfect storm, confluence of everything going wrong, is that what led to the events of Sunday night? Something had to lead there. And that's what I keep wondering. I will keep digging. I feel like there's so much we don't have. And oh boy, there's so many motions coming through over on the Osceola Clerk Court website. I mean, Stefan is objecting to the use of follow the law questions to rehabilitate or qualify jurors. There's a motion to prohibit death as a possible penalty. It's this long list of stuff that's just coming in because Stefan is really fighting that worst penalty that the state, of course, wants to inflict upon him for what he did to this girl. And just hearing these little girls' voices, it did something to me because it really just shows you how young a 13-year-old is. And you think of Maddie dealing with all this horrible treatment from Stefan since the age of 8 or 7 or even 6, however old she was when he really first came into her life. Putting up with that for years and years and years. So much pressure upon her. No wonder she couldn't function correctly in school and, was pretending to be sick potentially, like her friend advised her, just to get away from it all. I'm grateful she had certain joys in life, like these beautiful little friends. Chorus, she seemed to love Chorus. I think of the times that took her away, just from all the horrible things she was suffering. But if she really was pregnant, that is something that you can only be in denial about for so long. And was it like a volcano about to blow? And Stefan knew he was about to be found out. That is what's happened in other cases. I'm closely watching different cases and you see the same pattern. Sometimes when a person, their deeds are about to be found out, that's when they end up committing murder. It's just very sad to me. It's very, very sad. Stefan and his lawyer are fighting tooth and nail. It's just sad. But for now, I wanted to give you guys these 2 interviews with Maddie's little friends to see a few more pieces in the puzzle, and we'll see if we get any more. The way it's given, it's just kind of like, oh, here you go, and it's kind of haphazard in a way, but I'm grateful to get them, and I kind of want to try and keep them organized, have them on YouTube, have them on Patreon, and go from there. Let's close with Revelation 12:11. And they overcame and conquered him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their testimony, for they did not love their life and renounce their faith even when faced with death. Thank you so much for watching this update. Stay tuned because I still want to make a video about Chase Leonard and his interviews and any others I'm missing, even as I cover other cases, because we will see what happens with Stefan Stern's cases this year and how many more interviews there are as all these depositions get scheduled. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.